fangs, jagged like shrapnel and as large as bayonets. In a flash, all my doubts and questions about what had happened here were tossed aside. Albert was telling the truth. This wasn't an animal. The loup-garou was real, and it was here. Now we were all going to die. The beast seized Plummer immediately, pinning him down into the mud with its tree trunk-sized arms. It then proceeded to eat the poor old bastard alive, ripping into his flesh with its razor-sharp claws as if he were made of tissue paper. His pained cries for help were mercifully cut short when the vile fiend sunk its teeth into his throat, damn near ripping his head clean off. Blood burst out like a geyser at us, giving off a steam in the chill night air. We formed a group and started firing at it, a wave of hot lead spitting at the creature. But it did nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was as if its black form absorbed our bullets like a sponge. The only thing they did was make it angry. In a fit of rage, it got down on all fours and rushed towards us, ramming into us like a crazed bull in a china shop. As we scattered, it managed to grab Paul in its mouth by his chest and lifted him into the air, shaking him around as if he were a toy in a dog's mouth. His body ripped in half from the pressure of its crushing jaws, muscles, bones, and tendons snapping like wet twigs. His upper half flew into a waterlogged ditch, and his lower half slumped onto the ground like a sack of potatoes, guts sprawling out like twitching octopus tentacles. Harold charged at the beast with a fixed bayonet, attempting to impale its side, while Piper dived under to stab at its guts. The blade went in but got stuck under the monster's thick, shaggy hide. Annoyed at either man's impotent attempt at an attack, it kicked Piper, sending him into a ditch somewhere, and it swatted Harold away with its massive paws as if he were a fly, and he smashed into the wall, the force being enough to kill him, bones cracking and blood vessels popping from within his body. Abernathy tried to make a run for it, but the beast grabbed him by one of his arms and threw him across the trench, the arm being ripped from the body by its socket as if it were a gingerbread man. I couldn't see where he landed, or if he was still alive. I collapsed to the floor, frozen stiff with fear. The monster creeped closer to me, studying me as if it were waiting to see if I were going to make a run for it. Or maybe he just knew how hopeless it was for me, and was just savoring the moment. I couldn't fight it, and even if I had gathered the nerve to run, it would catch me in an instant and make mincemeat of me. I shut my eyes and looked away, hoping that the beast would at least make my death quick. Bam! 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 The beast recoiled from me as a wave of gunfire hit him, forgetting the ready-to-eat meal in front of him. I looked back across the trench. It was Baker firing at the thing with his Lewis. Seeing my chance to escape, I ran and hid myself from view in a pillbox. I didn't peek out to see what happened to Baker. I didn't need to. I heard everything, even though I wish I didn't. I could hear the monster's feral, shrieking battle cry, Baker's muffled screaming and cries from my helped be cut to an abrupt wet gurgle. The sounds of his bones cracking, his flesh ripping and blood spilling onto the floor and soaking into the dark earth. It was in that moment that everything became too much for me, and I blacked out. When I came to, it was early morning. The beast was gone. I was laying down in a pillbox, and Albert was watching over me. He handed me a flask of gin that he found and urged me to take a swig. Not my drink of choice, but given the circumstances, I downed the whole thing. Buvez lentement, go slow, urged the Frenchman, but I ignored his pleas. The liquid burned my throat, and its bitter pine aftertaste polluted my insides.